Hallöchen everybody, it's me again, Rafi, here as of Content Community Manager, and we are now today doing mission number 8, and of course, your most favorite virtual real-life A340-600 captain is with me. Hello Stefan.
Hello everybody.
Good to see you again, and I hope we're gonna survive this mission as well as we did with the 7 before. I'm pretty sure we are able to handle this. Okay, but before we start, as always, I will read you guys for your watches the little briefing. So mission number 8, explosive decompression. Flight story. You are the captain on the flight Iberia 6837 on the way from Madrid in Spain to Santiago de Chile. And as you're approaching the top of descent, you hear a loud bang and a popping noise in your ears, followed by an ACAM warning indication, an excessive cabin altitude. Mission goal is initiate an emergency descent as you cannot cross the Andes at 10,000 feet. Find an airport on the eastern side of the Andes to land. And what we're gonna want to learn today is emergency descent procedure in the context of high terrain, diversion, decision taking, terrain constraints into account. Okie dokie. So I would say, let's jump in the cockpit and unpost the aircraft.
Okay, so you guys learned about the scenario today. Rapid decompression is a really high demanding and stressful thing, and I'll just tell you a little bit about it, what we do procedural wise when we have a rapid decompression. If you hear a loud bang, first thing you have to do to survive is to open up, to switch on or pull on the oxygen mask and establish contact between the crew members. This is very important before you do anything else. Then you start your emergency descent procedure. That means turn, pull, pull, we said in aviation. That means the altitude knob, you turn to the left, so that means below, a lower altitude, pull for open descent. Then the heading bar, turn to the left, pull again to get rid of the airway and start your descent in no man's land. This is the reason. And the third thing is just pull the speed back. Don't pull, don't turn it. Just keep the speed as you have it. And this is the first thing. We have memory items. That means through oxygen mask on is the first thing. We switch on the passenger signs, and we initiate the emergency as described before. And what the last thing is, the speed brake pull to full extent. These are the things. And when you then ready and start your descent, you can talk to ATC, Mayday, 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 emergency descent. And what is very important in this scenario, we are over the Andes Mountains. That means normally you go down to an altitude where you can breathe without any oxygen. That would be 10,000 feet, but we cannot do this today because the minimum sector or the grid altitude here in the Andes is 25,000 feet. That means the first thing Rafi is doing later on when he's pull and turn on the altitude knob is switching 25,000 initially because we cannot go lower, and this takes a little time. And thereafter, on the second attempt or second analyzing moment, we check where we can go with these high terrain, and this will much probably lead to a diversion to an airport where the grid altitudes are lower. So this is the scenario. So first of all, you do the memory items without any checklist, and when you establish the descent, then you have time to go into the checklist and do all the other items like passenger announcement, emergency descent, switching the transponder to emergency code 7700 and so on.
Okie dokie. I mean, the good point is the weather is actually not that bad here. I mean, it's a little bit cloudy, but this should help at least a little bit also then later during. I mean, we're not going visually, but yeah, to make sure not to crash into the mountain, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so let's see. It should be somewhere around the top of descent. Maybe you can tell something specific. So far, we don't have any issue right now because you said it already. You usually try to be as fast as possible at 10,000 feet on most of the airliners or aircraft. But the A340-600 has something specific. I don't know if you will have time. It should be like in the next minutes.
Yeah, I can tell you about it.
Yeah.
So the good thing is, and this is the reason why this aircraft is preferable used for high terrain routes like over the Himalaya mountains in Asia, flying the Lima 888 or the Yankee 1 airway where you have really high grid altitudes. The reason is that you don't have the PCU, you don't have the oxygen system like a normal aircraft, so you have containers. That means additionally oxygen systems or quantities for extended oxygen usage. That means that we are good to go, even if we go down to 25,000 feet and fly there for, let's say, 15 or 20 minutes more than usual. It's not a problem. We can do this. Other aircraft really have a problem. They have to go down because the PCUs are normally empty after about 12 minutes or maximum of 20 minutes. This is an issue, but this is not happening to A340. Okay, now the scenario starts. Okay, first of all, Rafi, emergency descent. Obviously, it's a rapid decompression, so switch on the oxygen mask.
It's here, yeah, right?
No. This is for the passenger. This is later on. So we assume that we have the mask on right now. So initiate the descent.
Okay. So we have to put that mask on, which is here. This one. Okay, got it.
This is correct. This is the mask. Okay. Yes, but we just simulated.
On. Okay. You said. Boom, and then
yes.
Pull, turn. 25. We said. Pull. Yeah. How many degrees?
It's about 45, but it's not important. Important is that you start your descent and just keep the speed like it is. Do it on speed Mach, make it on selected speed. Speed brake full up and switch the seatbelt signs you have already. Okay, yes. Thank you for silencing the bell. So right now we're starting our descent.
Okay, crew mask on is like doing it physically. I thought it's a button. Of course, makes sense. We need to put the mask on our mouth. Yes.
Rafi, check your FMA. You are not in the descent. You're still in the out cruise.
Oh, sorry. Now, yes. Look at this. Now it should.
So you see, we lost now a little time. So 1 or 2 minutes where we really lost. This is really important that you check your FMA when you select your altitude and pull, because the most important thing is after setting your oxygen mask on is to descend, because it's hard to do without it. Okay, so I as a pilot monitoring would inform the ATC. Mayday, 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 Iberia 6837 emergency descent. We are heading 200. Descending initially flight level 250. Okay, so now you can switch on the transponder 7700, and I can read the checklist for you or do the ECAM. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cabin press, excessive cabin altitude. So we see it on the cabin press page. We have over 30,000 cabin altitude. That means the cabin altitude is exactly like our altitude. That means we don't have any pressurization left. Crew oxygen mask on is on emergency descent, flight level 100 or minimum en route altitude. The minimum en route altitude in our case is 25,000 feet. Speed max appropriate. We have it already, but please switch on speed. Selected speed, not Mach.
Okay, that's why he's like complaining here.
Yeah. And pull a little bit backwards, because if you are on Mach number, we go into the overspeed.
Yes. Yeah.
Engine start selector ignition. Okay, Speed All-Star, hast du gesehen?
Ja, Ignition.
Did you see it?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Let's turn a little bit left, if you don't agree.
Okay, so you can turn further to the left, maybe 180 or 170, just in order to
Like this.
get rid of these mountains. I checked the grid altitude for you,
Yeah.
and thereafter I continue with the econ. So the grid altitude is right now 25,000 feet, but when we go to the east, a little bit more to the east, we can later on start our descent further. And right now we are not able to descend below 250,000, 25,000 feet. You see outside of the window, you see the mountains are very close here.
Yes,
you see?
Yes, they are, yeah.
So this doesn't make any sense to get, you see, right below us, you see these really peak mountains. It's really hard to see. It's good that we have some visibility, but right now we cannot do more than 25,000 feet. Okay, I continue with the econ. Speed brake pull. Are the speed brakes still out, or did you retract it?
I retracted already, yeah.
They retracted, very good. ATC is notified. Cabin altitude. If the cabin altitude is above 14,000 feet, it is. So now you see the green arrow.
Yeah.
So push the clear button, then you can switch the overflow, and then the PAX oxygen mask man on. So go to the overhead panel, the switch you would like to switch before. Yeah, this is the right one. And the reason for that, normally the oxygen mask for the passengers come out automatically, but this is just a redundancy that if there are any problems with the mask, just make sure that all of the masks are released. Low differential pressure except high cabin rate. Okay, this is all done. So, clear cabin pressure?
Cleared.
Yeah, again, clear cabin pressure. Okay, so you see no status page. Switch on the status page, please, and you see it's normal because.
Okay.
The systems are working all good, but except of the hole in the aircraft and the not existing cabin pressure anymore. Okay, so now we just check what our options are. So the options are to land at Santiago de Chile is not a good idea because of the great altitude, because the good altitudes maintain or remain 25,000 feet or higher. So we're on a good course in to the direction of Mendoza. This is Sierra Alpha Mike Echo, which is on the east boundary of the mountains. It means once we are overhead the field, or shortly before that, we can start our initial descent to go.
What ATC would probably do now is turn us a little bit to the left, because then we are like over the mountains here, and then we can start even descent earlier if you want to do so.
Okay, so Iberia 6837, turn left heading 120.
Left heading 120, Iberia 3467, 6837. So just a little like a S turn to the left, because the mountains are here on the peak, and then it's going to be way lower.
Yeah, you see after this big mountain, it's get a little bit shallow. Then we can start our initial descent, because our grid altitudes are going down then.
Yeah.
So then we can start. What we can do in the meantime, Rafi, is prepare our approach. Because right now you see our destination is Santiago de Chile. And everything is in the FMC for the destination. So right now you see the alternate is Mendoza already, and you can enable the alternate. Or as an alternative, you go onto the flight plan page, and just you are inbound RIPAF, so make the line select key to left, and you see the new destination. And new destination is Mendoza, correct? Insert. And now you have the new destination. I can check what the weather is or you have the weather, I think, because we don't take the real weather, correct?
The wind is coming from 206 with 6 knots, so like the runway to the south, which is RNP approach or VOR approach, would work for us. So 12-1 RNP runway 18 I would suggest, and go over Sirek because that's also from the lower side, so this would be good for us. If you don't mind, I would put that into the box.
So the RNAV 18?
Yes, yeah. Let's go via Sirek, temporary insert, and this should guide us, yeah, more or less. If we turn at some certain point to the right, and that's, yeah, direct Sirek, if we are clear out of terrain.
Yeah. Sirek is pretty good. Sirek is a little north east of the approach pace, and that is assured that we can go down to 6,000 feet. And this is pretty good. I think we can start the initial descent right now. I think we overflew the Peak Mountains. So
do we this also in open descent and with as fast as possible now, or is it like okay,
absolutely?
Okay.
Because keep in mind the oxygen flow is still on, and I didn't check the time right now where we started our emergency descent. Did you copy that?
It was like 49, 48, so we are like now close to 10 minutes.
Okay, this is very good. So with the A340, you have really 20-25 minutes, where you can easily use your oxygen. But yes, if you have the ability to go further down, you do it as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So what a good idea would be to switch on the terrain on your side or on the co-pilot side, because you would like to see what is below you, or if there's any confliction with the terrain. But according to our charts, this is all good. We can go straight down. The speed brake is out.
Yes.
I go into the expanded checklist just to see what we have forgotten. Or did we have the switch on the engine start selected to ignition?
Yes, it is already. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
I mean, what I
notified emergency sent via PA announced responder 7700.
What is? I mean, like, that's not a cool feature, but we have like, usually you have how many altitude measuring instruments you have? Like, I guess 3 redundant, like for the private flying, for the co-pilot pilot, and then for the extra system here. Now you have with the cabin altitude a 4th one, I would say, because you see also the current altitude.
Yeah, right now, exactly. And you must consider look at the rate, the cabin vertical speed.
Yes,
over 4,000 feet, because you go. This is really hard for your ears. You can bet this is really tough. If you have an explosive decompression as we have here, your ears pop very, very, very hard, and it's really tough to have a descent of 4,000 feet. So your ears are really suffering. That's for sure on that. But the good thing is the rapid decompression never happened really. I think it's 2 or 3, which I recall in the entire aviation. This is not much. So, but if it happens,
I mean, you better have like sore ears than getting out of oxygen, right? So I guess considering that's
exactly correct. This is exactly correct.
Okay, so we're getting close to 10,000. I mean, would we now do like wait until we are at 10,000 and then prepare the approach, etc., or what is the plan?
No, you can, if you have time,
Yeah.
if there is time, you can start any time. There's not a problem. But I would suggest us to wait for 10,000 just to make the items, for example, retracting the speed brake. Don't forget anything because you're head down with your approach preparation. Because right now, everything is fine. And I can read the checklist to the end. And if you reach 10,000 feet like we do right now, we would make a passenger annunciation about the public address system and say emergency descent complete. That would mean everybody knows, especially the flight attendants know, okay, we don't need any oxygen anymore. So they can switch off their mask or pull their mask, move in the cabin, help passengers which are injured or hurt or need assistance, whatever. And in the meantime, we start to prepare our approach.
Okay, Alt, so that's now the case, 10,000. Good. So I would say I enter this in the box here and 1003, just do the quick numbers, 9 degrees. 206/6. 2,600. Center altitude, just to calculate the performance. We need to change the runway, of course. Same. And we disregard this wind because that's the live weather. So we're gonna go on runway 18. Our weather is 260, or the wind. 206, sorry. With 6 knots, we have now a temperature of 19 degrees, and QNH is 1003. Oh, sorry, 3. Good. Navigation dry, anti-ice off, landing weight. So that's what we need to get now out of the system. We have now 245. So what we do take as calculation, because we don't know our final fuel will be 21.4. So it's like
you can go to the fuel prediction page. This is the most easiest way. Fuel prediction page. There you see the zero fuel weight, and you see the estimated fuel on board. So you calculate 219, 220, 214, 240. I would say 241. This is your landing.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Your landing weight.
241 tons. Full air conditioning on, okay, VAP, maybe 5, but we'll see that, whatever it says. Computeratio. Okay, low.
This is pilot VAP is normally not the case. You don't do this normally, except you have really conditions where you have to do this. Normally you don't need that.
So auto brake 2. I would say. I mean, low would be also. What is the minimum margin you always take when you say like?
It depends on the runway length, and depends on how much margin you like to have. Sometimes you targeting a special taxiway where you would like to go out. So this is in the calculation already. So this is not always the same auto brake setting. So.
Okay, got you. I mean, we will anyway leave, I guess, at the end, so then this is fine here.
If you remember, Rafi, on the last situations we make together, I normally don't use the auto brake system, just do the reversals, because this is keeping the brake temperatures pretty low, because you're really braking with your reversals, and at 70 knots where you switch off your reversals, then you brake. But this, you can do this like you want.
Okay. Good. So I just made the wrong direct, but I took now the right one. Sirek, which is our initial, I would call it now initial approach fix. It is even the initial approach fix.
Okay, so.
Okay, so we have 8,000 feet below the... Okay.
Okay. Clear it.
That's because the aircraft maybe climbed a little bit. Maybe this is the reason, or...
No, this is normal. Normally, it comes again when still to remind you that you still have the current, because they telling you you still have a malfunction, and be aware of that. So you can clear it with a clear button, the cabin pressure. So we did that already, and this is normal because the cabin altitude, as you said previously, the it's more or less the same than our actual altitude, because we don't have we are a depressurized aircraft right now.
Okay, good. Yeah. So what you can now see is maybe that's one of the last thing, because I don't know if you do the landing, because the landing would be now a normal landing. But what we can maybe discuss a little bit here, why we choose to go like to the left and then back to the right, is you can see it now perfectly on the ND, like on the west side of the airport. It would be like no chance to be on 10,000 and fly to Santiago de Chile, because you see it. I mean, there's no even little spot where we could go through. So that's why we decided to go to the left and then stay on the left and land on basically on something on the east side, right? So
yes.
I guess that's the safer way, right?
Absolutely. This is a horror scenario, because if you have a rapid decompression, this is hard anyways. But if you have it on high terrain, like over the Himalaya or the Andes, this is really not your day, because then you have to really cope with these high terrain situations like we did today. So this is really hard. But you see, preparation is everything. And you saw before we have the alternate already chosen for Mendoza, because we know, okay, if there is any problem cabin pressurization wise, we are good to go to Mendoza, because there is the terrain lower than in Santiago.
Yeah. I mean, this would be like if this cabin decompression would happen like maybe 10-15 minutes later, so we would be at an, let's say, virtual equal time point. Let's say it's in the middle of the Andes, so then it would be then we would decide, okay, it makes sense to continue to Santiago because that's the closer path. But from there where we have been, it was like definitely safer to turn to the left and go back.
Yes, because normally if you follow this star into Santiago, you have grids or minimum sector altitudes which are way below 10,000, because you need to do the approach anyways. Yeah. But as you correctly said, we are too far out to make a rapid descent towards 10,000, which we cannot do. So the time we spend at 25,000 was less than the time we would have spent when we continue to Santiago.
Okay.
Despite another fact is that the track miles to Santiago would be much more than to Mendoza.
Yeah. Okay, good. So if you don't mind, I would say we can stop the situation here, because we have safety issue. There would be no further issues. Would be a normal landing, and we don't show normal landings because that you can do as a virtual pilot, guys from outside watching. Daily by daily, we want to show like how to handle as a real pilot. This kind of certain situation. So just to make sure I'm not missing anything, from now on it would be like basically normal daily flying, right?
That's correct.
Okay. The only thing what you said maybe is because we have an explosive decompression. So maybe what we need to keep in mind, because maybe some door was fallen out or whatever. So don't fly like sportive approaches. Maybe to take it a little bit more on the easy way.
Yeah, that's true. And normally when we do or we fly towards our destination Mendoza, we also would communicate with the cabin what is really the cause for our decompression, maybe a door or a crack in a window or whatever. And then you can really analyze if you like to have something in mind for your approach, making right now you're flying with 300 knots, maybe you do it a little bit slower because of the damage of the aircraft. These considerations would be taking part when you're safe at your 10,000 altitude flying to your destination.
Yeah, because what you want not to have is a further structural damage somewhere in the aircraft, right?
Yeah, this is the reason why. But if you fly too fast, and you get another problem because something is even more damaging or failing. The crack is getting bigger, or the structural situation differs from right now, and it's getting dangerous from there. So these are all considerations you have to keep in mind when you have a rapid decompression or a explosive decompression we had today. So
okay, good. So I would say again, thank you very much for being my insurance. So I learned today a lot, especially with the containers for the oxygen system the A340 has. I didn't know that, so I mean that's a good thing to know. Maybe as a passenger, I mean you don't have this many options. I don't know if other aircraft have also the same options, but yeah, it was a cool feature to learn about the A340 again today. So what I can say, 1,000 times, thank you very much to you, Stefan, for helping me out again.
Welcome. It was great fun. Looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. So make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to this channel. And yeah, as always, if you have questions, go down to the comment section or on our Discord. There you can exchange with a great community we have, and showcasing you this aircraft at its best site at the next one. So have a good one. Bye bye, everyone. Cheers.